Punchline, for the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation Vita, is a game adaptation of the anime by the same name. The story is about... well... maybe it's easier to understand if you see it for yourself. So, let's take a look at the first cutscene.
There is a boy on the bus and... oh no! Terrorists! Oh, it's a superhero girl! And she's fighting with a giant metal straw? That doesn't seem very practical. Uh-oh, she's in trouble! Hey, the main character guy became a Super Saiyan god! That's cool! And then he jumped! Take care of knives! And now he's dead! Oh wait, no, he's not! No, never mind, he actually died. But he's also alive! Somehow... and he is no more! Has ceased to be! Buried of life, it rests in peace! This is an ex-protagonist! I see! I didn't understand a thing!
Exactly! Right off the bat, the plot in Punchline is very difficult to follow, to say the least. And it only gets even more convoluted later on. Especially because the plot involves time travel and body swap.
Wait a minute! Do you mean... gender bender?
Yeah, gender bender.
Gender bender!
Enough!
So, it's just like Dirk Gently, but without Elijah Wood. However, when it comes to gameplay, Punchline is very similar to an old game by Electronic Arts for the Sega Genesis, Haunting. In both games, you play as a ghost trying to scare people by playing pranks on them. But in Punchline, you will drain a part of their souls every time you scare them. Which will make you stronger, and will also give you new abilities. This is all for the sake of finding a magical book that has the power to return you to your own body. But you must be careful, because if you look at one of the girl's panties for too long, something terrible will happen.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
Punchline. Punchline.
Oh, and if you want me to explain why this happens, I'm sorry, but this would take too long, and it would be very boring. But just for the record, they try to give you a scientific explanation for everything. Just like in the Scientific Adventure series, which is also made by mages. But in order for anything in this story to make sense, you would need to take two things into account: ghosts and magical transformations. And those things are not very scientific.
And if this is not confusing enough for you, don't worry, this is just the beginning. The main plot also involves robots, mutants, a serial killer, and an immortal bear cub. Hell, just take a look at the main heroine, Narugi no Mikatan. At first glance, she's just a teenager with big boobs and pink hair, just like any normal high schooler in Japan.
Yeah, sure. Because this is how most high school girls look like in Japan.
But she's actually a karate master. And that's not all. She's a very good cook. She's a pop idol too. Oh, and she's also the superhero of Justice Strange Juice. She's really close to being the perfect waifu. The only thing she's lacking is the ability to turn into a pizza by midnight.
Yeah, wait, what? Well, it doesn't matter. It's not like you can get her to be your waifu anyway, because Punchline doesn't have multiple roots or endings. This Wikipedia article says otherwise, but that's just bullshit. After all, this is not even a visual novel. Punchline is actually a point-and-click adventure game. And much like most games in this genre, there is only one route and ending. Maybe this is the reason why this game didn't sell well in Japan. The price dropped so much that it was almost for free when I bought it.
No! This is not the only problem with this game! For starters, there are no lollies or incest, and panties are not enough. Where are the boobs?
And that's why the hentai rank of Punchline is Pantilicious.
And what's more, the heroines are super nice and likable, and the main character is smart and strong. Who in the hell would want that? If the main character is a dude, he needs to be a lame and useless guy who is treated like trash by cute girls. Everybody knows that.
I see. Say, how would you feel if I told you that the main character turns out to be a cute girl?
Like that would ever happen. Anyway, let's talk about the graphics now. Punchline uses the same graphic engine as Robotics Notes, and if you look close enough, you can even spot some 3D models from that game in Punchline. Much like Robotics Notes, the visuals look like an anime. It's not nearly as good as Guilty Gear Xrd, but it still looks pretty good.
In conclusion, Punchline is not a great game, but it's still okay. The story has some interesting parts, but it's hard to follow, and it's filled with plot holes. It's also very difficult to take it seriously, because of the many lame puns in the game. If you enjoyed the anime, you will probably like this game just as much. But you don't need to watch the anime in order to understand the game, since both versions have most of the same events. The story for the first half of the game is pretty much the same as in the anime version, with just some minor differences. But the story in the later half of the game changes a lot. And the ending is completely different from the anime.
I see, wait! What was that just now?
Oh, that, my friend? That is the Punchline.
You do know that Punchline actually refers to panties, right?
Yeah, I totally knew that. Anyway, in my opinion, the game's ending is way more complete and satisfying than the anime's ending. And the climax is a 30-minute anime cutscene of pure action. It's quite the spectacle. However, if you can't understand Japanese, don't even try. The puzzles can be quite difficult, and the story is already complicated and confusing enough, even when you can actually understand what the characters are saying.
That's right! This game is not for anyone! You need to prepare yourself! Or else, the world ends with you.
こんな夜は騒ぎ出す夜更け前、またとないこの時をいたずらにかき回す。柵を越え選定必勝、屋上でバカ笑い、落書きに残すか